Hi, this is Melanie Hines, your fastest Iraqi dinar summary on the net. If you like these fast summaries, please give me a positive comment down below because your girl's getting tired. I'm going to be live tomorrow twice. I might be live again today, so make sure you're subscribed. Tap the bell. It's always free here on the YouTube. It's always free. Also, I never reach out to you on WhatsApp or any other platforms. If you want to get a hold of me, you have to reach out to me. You have to email me. So you know I'm not trying to reach out to you. I don't have time. So, here we go. So the IQD to USD today is 0.00077. The prophetic number 777 means completion. If you want to know more about that, you'll subscribe and tap the bell. If you've been seeing 777, it means total completion. That is the value of the Iraqi dinar to US dollar. We know it's going to revalue because the Kuwaiti dinar today is one Kuwaiti dinar equals $3.23 US cents, right? So this is Kuwait, this is Iraq. Look at the difference in value. 0.00077, less than a tenth of a penny, or $3, right? Does that make sense? No, it doesn't. Forex to IQD. There's a digital dinar. That's the new system of Iraqi dinar. We know about this. I have military contacts that have seen this system. It's a new blockchain, clear, state-of-the-art system that is run by AI. Artificial intelligence, agentic AI runs this banking system, and it's being replicated. When you see the check mark, that's why there's a digital dinar. It runs this system. It has to be run by a stable coin. Nothing to fear there, okay? So I believe the system was put in Iraq, Syria, and Turkey. Iraq, Turkey, and Syria, probably in that order. Iraq, Turkey, and Syria. If I remember all our conversations over the last 3 years, they were giving us intel. They got on our Zooms. If you want to be a Zoom member, you can hear from my intel sources that are on the thing there. This morning, they are busy. It's 127 right now. The Iraqi dinar on Coinbase, handle Forex on Coinbase. That's just where it lives and breathes. They didn't make a show about it. They didn't even tell anybody about it. And then the breaking news out of Iraq this morning on my summary of how do you manifest this, with how you're a co-creator with Christ, was Baghdad, Damascus reopen Al-Wala crossing after an 11-year closure. That was a breaking news today. Iraq and Syria reopened the Al-Wadi border crossing, restoring a key trade route closed since 2014 during the war of ISIS. So they reopened it. I also talked about how there were a bunch of trucks yesterday. I also gave you breaking military intel yesterday about that they've cut down on 95% of the oil smuggling. It's powerful. Then this morning we talked about preparation on my live stream of how do you exchange your currency. And we talked about it because somebody asked Mark Z a question, and we're going to look at that question. It says, will we need receipts for our currency when we exchange? Mark Z's response was, according to his Redemption Center contacts, I was told that unless you had 100 grand or more in currency, you do not need receipts for your currency. They realize it's been 20, 30 years for some, and receipts could be faded or lost. Okay, that's his Redemption Center narrative. What do I have? I differ from everybody else. I give you 3 steps to a safe exchange based on my experience auditing banks, dating a branch manager for 5 years, knowing what banks are like internally, externally, and how can you find a bank? What do you say to them? The scripts of exactly what you say to them, and then a 48-minute recorded Zoom that would be emailed to you digitally so you can watch it over and over again until you get it. How do you approach them? How do you have confidence? How do you have strength when you're talking to the banks? Okay, because if you go to a bank, you don't need receipts. If you go to a center, you do. And you need to be prepared to sign a non-disclosure agreement. Mark Z has even said he signed an NDA for his dinar and for his dong. I haven't signed any NDAs, meaning I don't live in fear that they might claw it back. Amen? That's the whole point. So then on my live stream, I shared with you a video of Donald Trump talking about dinar. Right? That was on my live stream. It was like 20 minutes. I don't know if I'm going to get the timestamps done or not. So that was the Ingram Angle interview when Trump was in his first term, when he did the Abraham Accords and there was no war, right? If you want to know my perspective on what we're doing now, you'll get on my Zooms. You become a Miracle Manifestation member. That's the 3rd level of my channel. I go to Zooms every Monday at 11. Right now, you guys are allowed on every Zoom until this happens. Because why? I need the most people on this as possible so we can manifest this together. I help you manifest your prayers, okay? Because Jesus was the ultimate manifester. He healed the sick, he raised the dead, and he delivered people out of their demons. There's a lot of spiritual warfare going on. Everybody's talking about it. Other prophets are saying that Dinar is done. Kim Clement said it would happen during a time of great fear, doom, and gloom. I'm thinking this qualifies. Amen. So then Steve says, the more research you do beforehand and the more you start treating this like a real investment, that it's going to happen, and it's on a specific timeline, start preparing, the better off you're going to be, because this is going to be a very emotional moment for all of us. We've been waiting for many years. Some of us have been waiting decades. He's been waiting 15 years. I've been waiting 14 years. How many years have you been waiting? In June, it'll be 14 years. 2 sevens, by the way. 777 is total completion. If you love numbers, put I love numbers. The more preparation you can do and the more knowledge you have, the more wisdom you gather before the revalue. I love this guy. He's new. I hope you'll watch his channel. The more sound and wise decision you're going to be able to make once the dinar revalues, you're going to be able to save a lot more money and therefore have a lot more money to invest. I think I need to invite him. Steve, if you ever watch my summaries, I'd love to invite you on one of my Zooms sometime. I'd love to, interview you on one of my Zooms. And that would build your channel. I would love to help you do that. Amen. Samson article, as confirmed, Iraqi oil announces the start of overland exports via Syria. Militiaman, they're going to be able to defend their real effective exchange rate because they're going to have all those 16 trillion worth of assets that they can tap into over time. Fun Lou, per United Nations rules, a country cannot walk away from its currency. A 25,000 IQD note will have its zeros intact. They can't walk away. In other words, a $25,000 note, when you take it to the bank, is going to be $25,000. In country, they may redenominate their currency, or they may just get rid of it for digital. They can do that in Iraq because they've already got more people to put they could give a timeline and say, we're going cashless, and that would eliminate them. That would save them a lot of money, right? So what's done in country is going to be different than outside the country, if you can understand that. So that's what they're referring to. A $25,000 IQD note will have its zeros intact. After in country, IQD are all brought in for exchange via the deadline. They are free to revalue their currency as all notes will be accounted for. Let's use the number 3, for example. In country, those with 25,000 dinar notes will be 25 dinar notes and will have a USD value of $75. For instance, like a Kuwaiti dinar is worth 3.23 if you use 3. Outside the country, a $25,000 note will then be worth $75,000. 3 times 25,000 is 75,000. At this same time, a digital IQD will be used for all cross-border payments, thus forcing all paper currency to stay in Iraq's borders. Everyone wins since the USA has an estimated 35 trillion Iraqi dinar they received in the currency swaps when we gave them USD in exchange for IQD at the rate of 4,000 IQD to 1 USD. I'm reading this from Funlu's summary yesterday. Okay, this is dated yesterday because I'm early because got a plumber here. It's crazy. Give me some positive comments that I do this every day. Amen. Everyone wins since the USA has an estimated 35 trillion IQD. They received the currency in swaps when we gave them USD in exchange for IQD at the rate of 4,000 IQD to 1 USD to bail them out of financial straits. Win, win, win. I agree. And that's funny. Funlu seems to be positive again. It says the IQD, they continue, the IQD inside Iraq is allegedly in mattresses and Iraqis refuse to deposit in the banks. Some. Our military said 90% of it's already been collected from the mattresses. Why would they? But here's how Iraq will work it out with no stress. The currency will be redenominated and the new currency will not be spent outside the country, nor will it be exported for any reason. The citizens will be given an ultimatum. Bring your IQD into the bank and exchange it for the new redenominated currency. It will be worthless in 30 days. They will bring in the currency guaranteed. Problem solved. This has nothing to do with the IQD outside of the country. And I agree with Funlu right there. That's the only time I think I've totally agreed. Sandy Ingram, the CBI can't do anything until it controls the bank notes. One approach other countries have taken or is done to create a new currency and require the old money to be exchanged for the new to participate in the economy, meaning the 30-day window. I think Funlu was the most detailed, but she's doing it. I'm not going to go through that. If you need I'm 60. I look this way because of the shakes. If you want to feel better, you should take a look at my shakes. I represent, right? That's how, I do not have any videos that are sponsored by them, but I do represent this company. I've been on these shakes for 24 years. Steve, a lot of naysayers when it comes to the dinar. they say their money supply is too high. I don't look at just the money supply. I look at how Iraq has been managing the money supply over the years. That is key. They are having these currency auctions every single week for the last 20 years to pull in as many physical dinar notes as possible. Why have they been going through the trouble of doing that when they could have just redenominated their currency years ago if that was truly the plan? They haven't. I believe there's a very important reason for that. I agree. So guys, what do you think? Comment down below. Mark Z still saying he's hopefully, this is Easter weekend. What do you think? I know a lot of people are preaching fear, doom, and gloom, and that's exactly when Kim Clement said this would happen. Nothing, 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 and then suddenly something. It depends on how you look at it. If you want help with your power through Christ, then please subscribe, tap the bell. It's free. Join us on a live stream. I'll be live tomorrow morning on Saturday at 9 and Sunday morning on Easter Sunday at 9. Bye.